the New Zealand Parliament grounds, and normally I would say this in a much happier voice, but today many of you are here in Wellington, New Zealand, the capital city, to express the sadness happening back home in your region of Tigray. So thank you very much for coming here this afternoon. I want to acknowledge the organisers. Many of you won't know me if you're not from Wellington. I am a Member of Parliament here. My name is Paul Eagle, and I represent large parts of the African community here in Wellington, in the area that I represent, and that's predominantly South Wellington. So we've had many of you have come into my office and expressed your personal concerns about what is happening back home in Ethiopia, in the Tigray region, and I am totally dismayed by what is happening. Thank you for coming here in a way where you are here because you are desperate and urgent for action to happen. And so I have read much, I have seen much and talked to many of you, and you come here seeking answers or some action. And so first of all, can I acknowledge that all of you will have family members and members of your wider community back home, where I know for the last 4 or 5 months there has been a total blackout on communications, power, the utilities, and many of you have expressed to me that you have been unable to even communicate with your loved ones back home. And that distresses me. You come here too because I said the word desperate in a sense of what can the New Zealand government do, and that is something that I want to help you achieve and advocate for. First of all, just making sure that people get the aid, the humanitarian assistance, and I saw the t-shirt of Amnesty International. I want to acknowledge them, the person here, but I want to commit to ensuring that that aid gets through and isn't stopped and redistributed to the Eritrean army and others from Ethiopia who have invaded Tigray. So that is one thing. Secondly, I have discussed this with our Foreign Affairs Minister, and that is the Honourable Nanaia Mahuta. Some of you have written to her and asked we need some action through our UN relationship to put pressure on what is happening, because here you have said, look, we would like the New Zealand government to do what other governments around the world have done, and you've talked about Ireland, for example, where they have put real pressure on the UN to act. And so I will take that back too and say, are we doing everything we can to help your people back home in the Tigray region? I also know that the Minister has said, look, if those people in your country, in your region, who are causing this activity is to stop it, is to cease, is to get out. And that is to interpret what she has said to me fairly bluntly, because what has to happen now is that this must stop. And I know that many of you have talked about the rape, for example, and I've heard the detail of that, and just the way that things are being weaponised, be it healthcare, rape, all over a whole range of issues. And so I want to make sure that there's some action on those. I want to also work with a few of you. One of the commitments I've made is the people who have come to see me here in Wellington. I want to make sure that we can get them in front of my ministerial colleagues, the right people, to have a face-to-face conversation about what is going on, because I want them to hear firsthand what needs to happen and feel the pain that I felt when you've come into my office. And I'm glad that you've come, because many people have said to me, I'm scared to raise this. but we're desperate, as I said at the start. So I'm not going to talk too much longer, otherwise to say it's a very distressing and sad situation. I know that that the elections in Ethiopia were paused, but Tigray chose to demonstrate its democratic right, hold an election, and that has been overthrown or overturned. And your stories continue to educate me around what is going on and how we can help. But thank you, particularly those who have come from outside the city. I know your community numbers roughly up to say 1,000. And many of you have written to me saying help, help and help. And so today I wanted to say just a few words to say I am here to help. And thank you particularly to those once again who have organised today, who have come into the office and acted on many of your behalf. And you have been articulate and direct and upfront about what you want done. Kia ora, thank you.